Hello, this is Diane Jepson, Director of Enzyme Peak Academy, here to talk about our live high school program. Our live courses for high schoolers run from mid-August till the end of May, and they are typically taught on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I want to show the calendar to you. You can see here the days marked in green are the days when we have our live classes. So in blue are our days off, for example, in November, and then 3 weeks off for the holidays, and then we have a spring break in March. So you can see that it ends on May 25th for the 2022-23 school year. Most students take 6 to 8 courses if they're fully enrolled with us. 26 credits are required to graduate, so in a 4-year high school career, that would be an average of 6.5 credits per year. Now, a 1-semester course is worth half a credit. We organize our students into learning communities, which is a group of scholars who take all of their same courses together, or most of their same courses together. We do this to facilitate friendships. And I'm going to show you our learning community schedule to help you to understand how that works. So this schedule is linked on our website under Student Services, and you can see here there's 6 learning communities for this particular year in high school, and you see they each have their own box there, and it shows, for example, in Learning Community 1, you can see on Tuesdays they have literature, English writing, and then science hour. Every learning community has English, literature, and a history, and a science hour. And then there's 2 electives. So on Thursday they have history, and then there's their elective options. So first semester they can choose between high school music appreciation or computer tech. Second semester they can choose between art appreciation or principles of leadership. And their second elective hour, you see they have choices here. Wherever the or is indicated, that means it's this class or that class, but not both. So a student would pick a learning community based on the schedule and the electives being offered, and also would coordinate with their friends to potentially be in the same learning community, and also see what mentors are teaching the various learning communities, because we have different mentors teaching the same class. So you'd want to pick your learning community before you enroll. Now, how long does it take in a typical week for a student in the high school program? Now, each course takes 3 to 4 hours per week. So you see, if you took 6 credits, you could anticipate spending 24 hours a week doing schoolwork, or 8 credits, you would spend 32 hours a week if you were taking 4 hours per course per week. Now, we use what we call a blended learning model, which is live classes plus studying done independently. So we don't think it's particularly healthy for students in an online school to be in scheduled live Zoom classes 5 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. So instead, we provide 1 lesson live per week per course. So there's a 1-hour class for each course once a week. Then the student completes 1 to 2 hours of a personal study module, which is in Canvas, the learning management system that we use, and that's generally comprised of article to read or video or interactive or a game or something to explore, and then taking down notes about what they learned and the key concepts. Then the student would expect to spend 1 to 2 hours working on an assignment and a quiz. So the assignment is original work that helps them engage in using the knowledge that they just learned in that lesson. So the personal study module, assignment, and quiz are due to be completed a week later. So it'd be due the day before the next live class. So they can choose the time that they do that. Now, because the live classes are taught on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and there's typically 3 classes on Tuesday and 3 different classes on Thursday, then you could do the homework, if we want to call it that, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Say 2 classes homework on Monday, 2 on Wednesday, and 2 on Friday. And that would be a nice pace, a nice schedule. Now, math is taught outside of the learning community model because we put students in math courses according to where they actually are. So you'll have students in the same learning community that are in several different math courses, right? So math is taught at different times and days. You can check our schedule for that. So what would it actually look like to be in the live class? Let's go into one of our courses and I'll take you through that. So here is a a lesson on plot development. The first 4 items are going to be covered in the live class. So an intro or attention getter about the subject. And then they're going to look at an overview, which will give them some questions to prompt their thinking that they'll talk about in the class. Then they'll be given instructions to set up their notebook to take notes through the live lesson. And we have lots of different types of note taking that we teach students to do. And then we cover the objectives for the lesson so they'll know what they'll be able to do by the end of the live class. Then they'll be shown an assignment preview, and they'll talk about that in the class to know what the assignment is going to be. And then they get into the meat of the lesson on the instruction and discussion page. There's typically a slideshow. They can expand to full screen and go through that. And they'll discuss it. They can ask questions, make comments. And then we have a section called the memory activity that helps to reinforce what they just learned by practicing it again. And then we have a section called meaning and context, where they learn how that new knowledge relates to, say, their life or relates to the gospel. So in this case, they're using the story of the brass plates to learn about plot elements. Okay, now the rest of the items in the lesson are the items that they would do on their own at a time of their own choosing during the week. So they'd do a week later. This is the personal study module. It's prompted with some study questions there. There's specific instructions about how to take notes. And then there's typically video to watch or an article to read, something to help them to reinforce what they just learned. They'll also complete their assignment and turn it in here. There's typically 3 options, 2 to 3 options for them to pick from. They just pick one. And then there's a quiz at the end, and that just assesses what they learned. Okay, now when a student submits an assignment and they receive feedback and a grade from their instructor, they can just go into their grade book, find the submission, they'll see the point score that they earned, and then they can just click on the little comment there. Interesting story. Sounds like your point of view will be third person limited. Is that right? Thanks for setting up your assignment so it's easy to read. I look forward to reading your story. Okay, so they'll be able to see their feedback there. Now, let's go then to the calendar here again. Let's say a lesson was taught on January 10th. That lesson would be due by the 16th because that's the day before the next live class. So that's an easy way to keep track of your homework. Now the personal study notes are discussed in the next live class, so that's a neat way to provide consistency from class to class. And students in the live program tend to progress very consistently through the lessons because they have a scheduled live class every week. They have due dates for their assignments every week, and so you can count on them if they participate and engage themselves in the course that they'll be able to finish it during the semester time period. So we find high levels of satisfaction and completion in our live program, and so we do recommend it wherever possible. Of course, the self-paced options are available to any student at any time. And please contact us if you have any questions.